Hello friends, Om Namah Shivaya. Welcome to Dots of Destiny. And today's video is mainly about the transit of Mars in Capricorn, because it is a big transit of Mars, exalted Mars. After a long period of combustion with Sun, Mars is finally free of that and in its own dignity. From 5th of February to the 15th of March, Mars will be in Capricorn. Now, accordingly, the February horoscope shows that with Mars, there will be conjunction of Mercury and Venus. So, Mercury will enter Capricorn on the 1st of February. Then Mars will follow and enter it. Sun will be there still, but in the degrees very far apart. And then Sun moves 14th of February, it will move into Aquarius, and then Venus will at that time move into Capricorn, and Mercury will slowly after 21st of February will move into Aquarius. So the position that is happening is that ultimately Mars initially it will have a conjunction with Mercury, but because Mercury is such a fast moving planet, it will move away fast from Mars and it will conjoin with Sun and move with Sun towards Aquarius, and Mars and Venus will have a conjunction very low degree. I mean, it is like 1 degree apart, 2 degree apart conjunction will happen in Capricorn. So apart from Jupiter being situated in Aries and Saturn is in Aquarius, so these two signs of Capricorn and Aquarius, both Saturnic sign is very much active in the month of February. So let us see for each ascendant what is in the month of February. But still, having said that, Mars is in very good dignity. So any pending job that had been remaining because of the correct driven forces or driving forces needs to be completed or can be completed in this transit of Mars. Though transits are the last thing that should be seen, but because after Dasha, Mahadasha, lot of the whole dignity of the chart, last come the transits. But still, yes, transits do have some effect, surely, much effect on us. So let us continue and jump into the ascendants. For Aries ascendant, Jupiter is on the Lagna and Mars, the Lagna Lord, is exalted. So really good time. What can be better than that? Because Mars is not only exalted, it is in the 10th house of karma and it is aspecting the Lagna, it is aspecting the 4th house, it is aspecting the 5th house. So your Lagna Lord is in great dignity. And especially why this February, whole month of February, and still the 15th of March, it is a very good transit, because after that Mars moves into Aquarius, though it is the 11th house, but it will have a big conjunction with Saturn. So before that, all the pending things that needs to be done in your work area, any professional upliftment that you had been waiting for, all these things will happen in this month. If it is the right thing, right, right time for you, if you had been waiting for things to move for a long time, yes, this is the time. It should be a very dynamic month of February. It should be. And especially as Mercury will also be in the 10th house in the initial 20 days. So though it's a Mars-Mercury combination, but see, it's a good combination for, showing your skills and gusto. Though it's a little bit bickering is there, that can happen. So your confidence will be very high in this time, because Lagna Lord in the 10th and aspecting the Lagna, surely it will give a lot of boost and confidence. But yes, bickering and other unnecessary things in the professional area should be avoided, because maximum good time should be utilized in the most positive way. So Sun is also still there till 14th of February. Then Sun will move into the 11th house. With Saturn, you can face some opposition of your luck. It can. Though Sun is also looking in the 5th house, Saturn is also looking in the 5th house, Mars is also aspecting your 5th house. Time is good, no doubt about that, for taking up things and completing them. But again and again, one thing is that because Saturn is so much in strength and it's a year of Saturn, so a little bit, going in a slow and steady way. I'll not say slow exactly, because Mars will gear up and give you that energy, but look into the areas where things needs to be done, what needs to be done, because it's a dignified Mars. There is no hurry, in the sense that you should take in consideration properly the things that needs to be done. If something needs to be communicated in the professional fund, it should be done. And in the 11th house also, see, 11th house should give you good gains, as slowly Mercury is moving to the 11th house. Saturn will be there, Sun will be there, and also Mars will be joining with Venus in the 10th house. Venus is your 2nd and 7th lord. So even if your spouse has you can both go for a joint venture or something like that. Second house matters can get a it is a good transit to do things as per you want, the way you want it to be, if it had been already planned and organized. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that it's a very fruitful month. Your status can rise, you can feel recognized for the work you've been doing. So all these things are there. Yes, Saturn is looking, Jupiter is there on the Lagna, Saturn is aspecting the Lagna, Mars is aspecting the Lagna. So many positive things. So whatever you do should come to a good completion. That is the main thing. So hope you have a very good month ahead, the whole of February. Wish you best of luck for all the Aries. For Taurus ascendant, Mars is in your 9th house. Mars is exalted in your 9th house, and Mars is your 12th lord and your 7th lord. Now here, yes, Mars is not a very yoga karak planet for you. I mean, it's not a very good planet. It's the 12th house matters that will come into focus. And I think the most important matter that will come into focus, Mars, if you have especially a Mars Antardasha or a Pratyantardasha, because usually the monthly transits give results mostly with the Pratyanta Dasha that you are running. So Mars in the 9th will, if definitely, I think you will have the quest for higher knowledge, the quest for going abroad, for traveling, some kind of activities which are related to travel, because Mars is there in the 9th house, and it is Saturn is there, the dispositor of Mars is in the 10th house. So regarding your work also, you may have to travel, and Mars is the lord of your 12th house. So Mars is also aspecting the 12th house. Jupiter is there in the 12th house. So 12th house matters can be of great significance. And also Saturn is also, so 12th house is getting a lot of power from all the planets, because the aspects, if it is one aspect then it can be understood, but so many planets aspecting the 12th house will give a boost to the 12th house matters. But obviously, other than going for travel, going for education purpose, for settlement, for visa, granting of visa, all these things, expenditure is also a thing which which the 12th house is all about. And also, if there is some recovery that needs to be done, some hospitalization, some recovery from that, some illness that you had been going through, all these things. So that is also emphasized over here. It is a good transit, though Mars does not work very well with the 9th house energy. But after all, 9th house is a house of dharma, and Mars does well in Jupiterian houses. 9th house energy we always give to the planet Jupiter, because Sagittarius is the original 9th house. So here Mars will be also looking at your 3rd house. Now here, 3rd aspect is the aspect debilitated, but still Cancer sign is friendly to Mars. It is the moon sign. So whatever effort you're putting in, put in a calculated and in a strategized way, because sometimes Mars, when it looks into the Cancer sign, it gets too much emotional and may feel frustrated at times. That should not happen. It is a time for upliftment, because see, when Mars comes into the 10th house, after the 9th house works, when Mars comes into the karma house where Saturn is already there, there'll be too much energy over there to handle. So deal with this transit well. And also your Lagna Lord will be joining Mars in Capricorn from the 13th of February. So Venus will augment the things that already Mars had been putting effort into, you had been putting effort into. You can even, this is your first lord and the 7th lord, you can travel with your spouse if you want. You can set up some, especially if you want to go to foreign locations, you can go for a higher studies if you're doing something together, or if you're some you are practicing some something regarding religion or something together. All these things, or as a mentor also, both can act with each other in the way that they will be giving each other knowledge on certain things. That can also happen. So it is not a bad transit at all. And 10th house will have the influx of Mercury. After 9th, Mercury will move into the 10th. There'll be Saturn will be there and Sun will also be there. So Mercury will move by 20th of February. Before that, Sun will already go into the sign of Aquarius where Saturn is already there. Now, only thing is that in the 10th house area, when Sun, Saturn, Mercury, 3 planets are there together in the month of February, just look into that there is no ego issue creeping up, or with your higher authorities there is no too much, don't go too much roughshod on them, because the energy is like that. Because always Sun and Saturn, they have 2 different planets, very different planets with different ideologies. So Mercury can create, it's a skill, some skill enhancement can happen, but go slow and steady with the process, because Sun and Saturn can give certain clashes which are not very not very good, or rather not very good for the professional front. That energy with patience have to be dealt with. So only that is a hurdle. Otherwise it is a good month. 9th and 10th house is getting all the energy. 12th house is also getting lot of aspects from lot of planets. Saturn, Mars and Jupiter is already over there. So all are aspecting the 12th house. So that is when Rahu is also in the 11th house. So see, the desires can be such that you want to push the things, but this is keep calm, keep patience. That is what I'll say, because when too much energy is there in the 12th house, another thing happens is that you may feel too much gusto to go and do the thing. But relax a bit. There can be some sleepless nights also. Too many energies in the 12th house can give that kind of a scenario also. So the Aries sign is getting too much too much energetic, I'll say, because Mars rules Aries and Mars is in high dignity now. So keep your calm, very important. Otherwise you can carry on with your 9th house projects, your 10th house things. Don't bring ego issues, and take care of your health. That is very important, because when 12th house is too much active, lot of issues with sleep, migraine, headache, all these things can creep up. So keep a tab on that. Otherwise it's a good month for the Taurus people. Now I come to the Gemini ascendant. Gemini ascendant, the Mars is getting exalted in your 8th house. Now though it's the exaltation sign of Mars, we know Mars and Mercury does not go well, and Mars is nowhere a good planet for you. That is understood. Though it is the 11th lord, but 11th is it is a Upachaya house, but it's a Trik Bhav also. And the 6th house is your Mars is the owner of the 6th house, comes into the 8th house. Though yeah, Dusthana planet comes, it is okay. it is an exaltation, not afflicted, and all these are good. And Mercury is also transiting the Capricorn sign for the first 20 days of February. So there can be some obstacles and clashes that can happen, because see, Mars in the 8th is not considered a very good position of Mars. Be very careful with your health first and foremost. Rest things comes later. There are a lot of things that you're looking forward to, because see, Mars is aspecting the Aries portion of your horoscope, which is very good. The 11th house is getting a lot of energy. 11th house is such a house which can deal with a lot of energies. Jupiter is there, Saturn is aspecting, Mars is also aspecting. Gains can be very well flow in this month. Inheritances can come. Your Lagna Lord is there, but don't go into bickering with things, because Mars and Mercury is very good in deriving wealth. That I've seen many times. I've seen that. Mars is the drive, Mercury is the business mind, or the crispy mind that runs after wealth. It's a good combination in a materialistic way, but don't go too much into bickering point of it. It happens because they are roughshod with each other. And especially the 8th house matters when the Lagna Lord is in the 8th house initially, but still Mangal is there for till 15th of March. So being your 6th lord in the 8th, sudden health issues can also get rise due to your too much, that energy of the 8th house is too much more. And so a little bit care needs to be taken. Later, Mercury moves into the house of Aquarius, and it is with Saturn and Sun. So here, father's health can also come into question. And your relationship, if there is a problem with a little bit ideological problem, temperament problem with the teacher, with any kind of higher teachers, professors, higher people where you're learning from your father, all these things, because Rahu is also transiting in the 10th house. So this should be kept in mind. Your health should be kept in mind, your image, how you are, because see, 8th house is also that it shows to the world. And it is a very deep, dark house, and Mercury going into it with Mars. Mars is in full force. Your enemies, maybe you have to understand, because it's the 6th lord. So the people you are putting expectations into, maybe they are of not much worth, because it is your networking area also. Inheritance can be boosted. Problems with the in-laws can happen. The problem can be sorted if you are not bickering over it. Problem with health can happen. Problem with father's health can also happen. These things are all transit based. Please understand that the pros and cons needs to be checked, and according to your dasha, antardasha, the results will be produced in that way. So obviously, if you're running a Mars Mercury, Mercury Mars, some kind of that combination, or Mars Sun or Mercury Sun, something like that, or Saturn comes in dasha, antardasha, pratyanta, so these kind of things can lead to some kind of problem that needs to be checked. Everybody will not get the same kind of issues, obviously, because always I say transit is the last thing to be watched, but it is a request from most of the people, that they understand. I also get it that every month some kind of transit video is needed for the guidance of that month, so that's okay. But me saying something negative will not make that happen. So don't run into negativity. Look that Jupiter is there in the 11th house, Rahu is there in the 10th house, Ketu is there in the 4th house. So obviously you have to understand that things are gearing up for good results also, but in the process there can be hiccups also. So you are having a good transit. Most of the transits are good, but as you know that this 1.5 month, because the transit of February is such that your Lagna Lord and your totally enemic planet Mars is coming together, you understand that precautions needs to be taken. So take a cautious approach, otherwise it's a good month. Yeah. Okay, then is the Cancer ascendants. Cancer people Mars is in the 7th house. Now here is also, Mars is your yoga karak planet first and foremost. Though it is in the 7th house, exalted, aspecting your lagna, it can give a great boost to your confidence. Also, it is aspecting the 10th house also, which is the Aries house, and 10th house is getting influx of lot of energy. Jupiter is direct there, Mars is aspecting, Saturn is also aspecting from the 8th house. Only issue with Mars in the 7th is, it gives a lot of heat in the 7th house, which is not that much required. It can also give egoistic attitude, because see, Mercury also comes with Mars, and Mercury is not a good planet for you. It is the 12th lord also. So here Mars and Mercury, especially from the beginning of February to the 20th, can give clashes. It can, 100% it can, because Mars aspecting your lagna, Mars aspecting your second house of wealth, and also it is aspecting your 10th house, can give a boost of your personality. But understand, when Mars is aspecting your lagna, though it's your yoga karak, no doubt it's your 5th lord, it is a benefit for you, Mars, for the moon ascendants. It is, but Mars can give sudden temperament. We all know that it gives sudden sudden up and down, or too much confidence, too much roughshod with people. It can happen, or too much expectation. And because see, Cancer ascendants are emotional, they are emotional people, and that is how it gets more triggered. That is the point I'm trying to put into. Otherwise, it is a good transit. So Mercury is the 12th lord also, it can create issues also. So look into these factors, it will help you to sort out if there is a problem with the 7th house. Otherwise, Mercury will be there with you. You can show, it can be a good business time also, because Mercury Mars, they can do good business. Considering that Mars is very a structured approach over here. The non-living part of it is good, not bad, because Mercury is business. You may be able to strike a deal. 10th house is getting lot of energy. Mars, Jupiter is there, Mars is aspecting, Saturn is aspecting, so lot of good things can happen related to the 10th house and also the 2nd house, because 2nd house also Mars aspect is there, 8th aspect, Jupiter is aspecting 2nd house, and Saturn is also aspecting. So see, the 10th house with the 2nd house, your savings can get enhanced, your career may get into a new direction, because it's a long transit of 1.5 months for Mars. So these are good things that is happening. In the process, Mercury moves into your 8th house with Sun. After the 14th of February, Sun will move. 20th of February, Mercury will move into the 8th house. Now, 8th house will have Saturn, Mercury, Sun in this month. So again, too much of energy into the 8th house. Sometimes that can be giving. It can be good. If you had been, if Saturn had been putting things on hold, it can move things forward, but there can be clashes also. There can be clashes with in-laws, there can be sudden clashes, or some, cases regarding the property related issues. It can be all these things, inheritance related, not property exactly, inheritance and all this. You may want to invest more, be a little, because see, 8th house is a very different energy. It gives the energy of risk taking also. So this should be curbed a little bit, but otherwise it's a good transit. It is giving you all the positive things that is needed to give a good 1.5 months ahead. Use it properly. And Venus will also move into the 7th house. Slowly Venus, by the 13th of February, it will move into the 7th house. So that is also good only. That is also good. It is your 11th lord, and you can have gains from your partner. That can also happen. A good relationship if you want to grow. Though Mars and Venus, when they're in so much close contact with each other, they are like two because Mars is little different and Venus is different, they have some sweet and sour moments also. So that is there. So anyway, it is not a bad transit. Only some don't get too much overconfidence, or don't from your end you try not to get into a bad conflict or something with the other your partners, mainly your business partner, life partner, whoever. Then it will be, because it is your fifth lord also, no, coming into the seventh. Maybe you want to get married and suddenly some issues crop up. These things can happen because this is how the transits play with us. That is why every month video gives you an idea how to deal with this month. Otherwise, it's a very dynamic month. It's a good month. Just the relationship front, and also your health, because see, 8th house is always sudden hiccups in the process of health, so that also needs to be checked. If you go for a checkup, if that needs to be done, do it. And because that is also important. That is important. So because otherwise there's Sun Saturn together in the 8th house with Mercury, definitely can, if such dasha, malefic dasha is running, can give some sudden health related problems. It can give, not necessarily it will give, but it can give. That is the thing. So this is the transit, and hope you have a dynamic month ahead. You will feel very confident, or too much emotional also. You can feel a little jerk. That control your emotions. That is very important. Don't burst out, because Mars is in the aspecting the second house. Too much aspect on the second house, good for the monetary savings, but it is not very good for the speech. So keep a guard on what you speak. Thank you. Now come the Leo ascendants. Leo people, Mars is like the Cancer people, Cancer ascendants. Mars is a very yoga-karak planet, and it will be transiting your 6th house exalted. 6th house is a welcome energy for Mars. You will have a very busy month ahead, very, very busy month ahead. So keep a check on your health first and foremost, because see, Mars will be in the 6th, Sun will be 6th in the initial part of the month, then Sun will move into your Lagna Lord, will move into the 7th house with Saturn. So Saturn, Sun, and Mars, 3 will be aspecting your Lagna. Jupiter also, grace of Jupiter is there, blessings of Jupiter is there, that is good, but still, don't stretch yourself so much, because you will feel very charged up, no doubt about that. So keep a tab on your health first and foremost, because health is wealth. Only if health is good, then you can do the rest of you can utilize the month, which is a very dynamic month, very, very dynamic. Mars, as it enjoys the 6th house, and the Sun in sign which it is in, it is an exaltation. So you can understand, it's a really, good time to do your work and get your work done. Whatever things you have scheduled, whatever things you have planned, it should go, because it should go according to plan, because Venus is also coming in transit into Capricorn after the 13th of February, and Sun at that time is moving out and going into Aquarius. Mercury will be in Capricorn. Mercury also loves the 6th house matters, because Mercury gets originally exalted in Virgo in the Kalpurush Kundli. So it's a really win-win situation. Venus is your 3rd lord and your 10th lord. So see, this Mars-Venus combination, Mars is your yoga karak, Venus is your 10th lord, your effort lord. So these two together in the 6th house, put in the best effort, put in the best foot forward, deal with situations in your daily work, solve the problems with the grace of, with the energy of Mars. It will be easier, but understand that Sun will come under the influence of Saturn. So things may always not go as swift as you want. This is the only glitch, because whenever Sun comes with Saturn, there is a fidgeting energy, like ideological clashes, some clashes of thoughts, with the partner, maybe with other people, because seventh house is also the other people in our life. So that can happen. So if things are certain slow, understand that yes, it will happen. Let me put in the effort, things will be okay. But it can give some slowness, because always Saturn will have an effect. Though we learn that in transit Saturn does not have a Vedant sun, but still in practice I have seen whenever Sun and Saturn comes together in a sign or opposition, things sometimes can get slow. It can, or it because you are getting so much energy on the lagna, no, Mars aspecting, Jupiter aspecting, Sun aspecting, Saturn aspecting, so many people can put on a lot of responsibilities on you. People may want more of your time. You may be having lot of things to do with time may not be sufficient at times. You may run out of energy. You may feel that too much you are giving, too much you have to give for your work to be done. All this, there's a wearing out of the thing. Your energy drainage can also happen in this process, though the transits are really good. But when too many planets aspect the lagna, sometimes it is growth oriented, but it can be at times tiring also. Take sometimes a break and stay with yourself little bit. You'll get energized more. Look after your health, very important in the process, because sixth house is the daily job. It will give a boost to your daily job. You'll feel very charged up with that, no doubt. But some wearing of tissues can happen. So take a look into that and take rest sometimes when it is needed. That is also important, because always if you take up extra load, it can be tiring. So this is what I have seen this happening when too many planets aspect the lagna. Yes, nothing major, because Jupiter is having the blessing on the lagna. It's a good transit. It's a very dynamic time, stepping into your power. That is what I will say. It's a good transit. Hello Virgo. The month of February is beginning with your Lagna Lord coming into the 5th house of Capricorn, and Mars will also enter this 5th house in its sign of exaltation by 5th of February. So there will be a conjunction of Mars and Mercury together in the 5th house, and Sun will also be there at that time, though it will be quite apart in degrees from Mars and Mercury. So 5th house, we know it's a very good house. The energy of Mars and Mercury over here is a little bit tricky. See, it is the house of intelligence also. If you live the living part of it, the living thing part, then you see it gives lot of upgradation of status also, because Mars is your 10th lord, and 10th lord is coming Mercury is your 10th lord, and Mercury is coming into the 5th house is good. Your Lagna Lord and 10th Lord coming into the 5th house, it is good. Mars is in its exaltation sign over here. There can be, in particularly this 1.5 months, because it's just a transit, there can be some some issues with children. It can happen if you are running a Mars Mercury or a dasha, antardasha, pratyantardasha, or Saturn Mercury Mars, any these kind of combinations. This thing can happen. But see, 5th house matters is also the status. The status is important over here for the 5th house. So when the 8th lord comes into the 5th, some change you can expect. Some change can happen, and also most of the planets are aspecting your 8th house. Jupiter is already there, Saturn is aspecting, Mars is aspecting. So there are so many aspects on the 8th house, and Mars is your 3rd and the 8th lord, which is coming into the 5th house. So your image can, your status image can get a boost, sudden boost it can get. It is looking into the 11th house, so that can also the Cancer sign, That can also, your Mercury is looking into the 11th, and then it will go into the 6th with Sun, Saturn. It's a very progress oriented time, no doubt about that, because Lagna Lord or 10th Lord coming into the 5th is good. Also, Mercury, when it goes into the 6th house into Aquarius, Saturn is already there, Sun will also be there. Now, these energies work good in Aquarius also. But the health part of it is very important also, because 6th house, maybe it is your loan management also. You want to complete a loan, you can slowly complete it. If you want to take it, you can, but Saturn can give some restrictions here. It can, because Mercury, Sun both are coming into the 6th house, and Sun and Saturn does not go very well, that we understand. And the 12th Lord is coming into the 6th house. Here a closure of a loan can also be there. That can be done. All these things can happen. If you had been looking for a job can happen. But understand, having all these dynamic things going around you, Ketu is on the Lagna. So every decision should be made carefully. Very important that you take the decisions with a little bit of care. Because see, Virgo is not getting any aspect of any good planets, only Ketu is over there. And where are the aspects actually going? It is going into the 12th house and into the 8th house. And all the planets, most of the planets are in the 6th house. And Mars is there in the 5th house. So understand the scenario. The time will be very charged up, no doubt about that. But the Leo sign, the 12th house, is getting aspect of lot of planets. Mars is aspecting by the 8th aspect. Sun is aspecting, Saturn is aspecting, your Lagna Lord Mercury is also aspecting, and Jupiter is also aspecting. So it's too much volatile. The 12th house matters means sudden some expenditure, some losses, some sickness, some repair, or obviously foreign lands and all these things are also included into it. But look into the things carefully. Look into the things carefully, very important, because the 8th house is also getting too much of energy into it. Jupiter being there, Saturn is aspecting, Mars is aspecting. So this is the 8th and 12th, when it is so much active and Ketu is on the Lagna. Naturally, care should be taken utmost for this month, February, very important. Because also see that Saturn and Jupiter, two major planets, are sitting in your 6th and 8th, and Rahu is in the 7th. So these things should be taken in account. But yes, Venus is joining this Mars. So that your 9th Lord is coming into the 5th house is good. That is a good transit. Your 2nd Lord and 9th Lord coming into the 5th house with Mars, that is a good transit. And it can give some love affairs, some relationship. You can go into it, because Mars and Venus are very sudden attractions, can also happen in the 5th house, and 8th and 12th is also activated. So it can run very fast into relationships which are not thought of carefully. I mean, see, relationships is not about thinking, but yes, we need to understand that where we are heading towards, that is important. So that is how the transit is. So just look into it, because transits give a sudden thing and also blows it up very fast on the face. These things happens in transit. So that is why otherwise you will feel very confident. Your image can get a boost. You can feel your status is rising. You can feel that your hard work is giving way, and also you will have a lot of work to do, because 6th house will have an influx of planets, lot of business in the coming days. That way it is a good transit. But just look into the 8th house, 12th house matters, because these matters needs to be looked into with so much energy concentration in those areas. Have a good time. Then Libra ascendants. Libra people, you're having Mars in the 4th house with Mercury with Mars over there, and your Lagna Lord first in the 3rd and then will be joining Mars in the 4th house. 4th house matters will get a nice boost, because the real estate agents, if somebody is there, they want to buy a house, car, it will be good. If you are into house construction business, into some sort of mechanical engineering, into architecture, into house decorations, into buying certain houses, you have been looking for properties, you want to sell or buy or something, all these will be good. And also 10th house, also your Lagna Lord and Mars together from the 13th of February will be looking into the 10th house, so you will do good in the job front also. That will also be there, but understand that Rahu is in the 6th house, so some changes will be there. Rahu is in Pisces, so here the changes can be a little difficult to get into. It can be there, it can be like that. Otherwise, it will be a good time. At home, you can have some party, some get together, some housewarming kind of thing. Don't feel agitated. Don't get into quarrel, because 4th Mars, though it's in dignity, it can affect certain relationship. Don't feel hurt and don't hurt others also. Try to feel little light, because your Jupiter is situated in the 7th house, and it is getting an aspect of Mars. Mars is aspecting Aries, and also Saturn is aspecting Aries, and so your concentration should be development of your 4th house. And see, because this month is about the Kendra houses, the 4th house, the 7th house, and the 10th house. So you, your family, and your work and your relationships, this is the theme of this month. So, and also because your Saturn is in the 5th house, Sun will move into the 5th house by the 14th of February, and also Mercury will come into the 5th house. All will be aspecting your 11th house of gains. So if you are running Sun Dasha or Mercury Antar Dasha or something like that, so this Leo sign in the 11th house is getting a lot of aspects. Mars is aspecting by the 8th aspect, Jupiter is aspecting, Saturn is aspecting, Mercury will be aspecting too many aspects. So you can have good gains also this month. So it is a good month. All the Kendra houses are well placed, and you can really reap good results. You can feel very happy. But in too much excitement, Mars is having a debilitated drishti on the 10th house. So be a little careful in the official area, not to be rough and not to get too much emotional, or sudden emotional burst out. It sometimes happens, especially if you're in Mars Antardasha or Pratyantar Dasha. So it is a good time. It is a good time for Libra people. You'll feel that you'll feel very light at heart. I mean, you'll feel very nice and energized, because Venus is Digbala in the 4th house. Your Lagna Lord, when it enters the 4th house, and it'll stay in 4th house for this month. So it'll be a good time for you. So enjoy this time, and hope you get fruitful results this month. Now Scorpio. Scorpio, Lagna Lord in the 3rd, very good placement. 3rd house is the house of decision making and bravery and short distance journey. Mars does very well in the 3rd house. You can go for activities. Mercury will also be there, your 11th and 8th Lord. Advertising, if somebody is in communication, advertising, traveling sector, all this will get a boost, and it is a very good house actually for Mars. Though with Mercury, some misunderstanding with siblings can happen. Mercury sometimes, though it is a house of Gemini also in the original Kalpurush Kundali, but still Mercury in the 3rd can give a little bit of irritation with Mars. So that can happen, and understand that Mars is so dignified. You will feel so boost up of energy within you. You have to be a little calm and don't go against people too much. Because why I'm saying this is that your fourth house will see a Sun Saturn conjunction from the 14th of February. So here your heart can feel some kind of dissatisfaction. It may happen because the Leo sign is also getting a lot of aspects from Sun, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars. All are aspecting Leo, and Mercury will also come into Aquarius aspecting Leo. So lot of work in the official front. Maybe you agree with something, maybe you not agree. Your 6th house and your 10th house and your 3rd house, see all the upachya houses for you. Obviously Saturn is there in the 4th house. That's why I'm telling some discontentment can happen with the heart, with the family. You can feel a little heavy. Maybe people are not able to understand you. It happens at times. This is just a month. Transits are just for a month. It will shift. The energies keep on shifting. But see, it's a very, very dynamic month, very action oriented month, because 3rd Mars, 6th Jupiter, 10th house getting so many aspects. 6th house is also getting the aspect of Mars, own sign. Jupiter is there. Saturn is also aspecting. So some change in your, job and professional area, good changes for growth. This will happen. It's a good time. Don't feel the burden, because obviously 4th Saturn, Kantak Sani, it will give you some heaviness in your heart. Just take a little, move away from it. Take a little, entertain yourself with other things, and understand this month cannot go for a waste. But don't roughshod about others, because when we feel very confident, we sometimes try to cross people's ideas and cut it off totally. That need not be done. Pay attention to yourself. 3, 6, 10. These are the major houses getting activated. Upachya houses, growth houses. So it's a dynamic month. It's a very growth oriented month. Go towards it, look towards it, fight towards it. Put in the best effort. The best results will come. Thank you. Sagittarius. Sagittarius, Mars is there in the 2nd house. And 2nd house, Mars is a very good planet for you. Though it is the 12th lord also, but also it is the 5th lord. And Mars coming into the 2nd house with Mercury. Mercury is your 7th lord and your 10th lord. So it can be a good time for, the expenses will be there, but this month you will gain money also, because later from 13th of February you will be able to save and save more, because your 11th lord Venus will also come into your 2nd house. Mars and Venus will have a conjunction in the 2nd house. It is a good time for some good savings. Yes, expenditure will be there, no doubt, but still I'll say it's a good time monetarily. It will be. And then Mars is looking into your 5th house. 5th house affairs is also getting a lot of boost. Jupiter being there, Mars is aspecting, Saturn is aspecting. If like all the good things about 5th house, you can feel your luck is rising, you can feel an upliftment, you can feel a boost. All these things can happen. Even love matters can also take a nice turn, because Mars and Venus is also conjunct in the 2nd house. If you want to start a family, if you want to go for marriage, that can also happen. Mercury is there with Mars. Obviously some fidgeting happens when Mars and Mercury in the family. That can happen, but slowly Mercury will move into the 3rd house. And then Sun is also in the 2nd house now. Beginning of February it will move into the 3rd house. 3rd house will see Sun, Saturn and Mercury together. Here, if you want to take some decision, you may feel that you're going to and fro about it, because ideologically things may clash. But understand, Sun is your 9th lord also. Now 9th lord coming in contact with Saturn, check on the health of your father should also be taken. And your 9th affairs are getting a boost also. Your fortune house, see, your best houses are getting activated. 5th house, 9th house. You can feel a fresh, nice vibe in you. You feel that renewed, that kind of feeling can come to you. So it's a nice month. Some decision, if you feel that immediately you're unable to take, go slowly with it. Because yes, Saturn and Mars can have some friction, Saturn and Sun together can have some friction this month, because Sun will be in Aquarius with Saturn in the same sign from the 13th of February, 14th of February roughly. So take decisions slowly, go with the time. It's a very good month, getting lot of energy in the second house, fifth house, third house, ninth house. Ninth house is getting lot of aspect from Jupiter, from Saturn, from Mars, from Mercury, lot of aspects to the Leo sign. So keep a watch. You may go for traveling, lot of travel, work can require travel. These things can happen. It's a very charged up month. All good this month. Nothing much and nothing glitch in it. So have a good month ahead. Thank you. Capricorn, Mars is coming onto the Lagna. It is the 11th Lord and the 4th Lord that is coming on your Lagna. So you will get, this is a very good transit for you. The 12th Mars that is going on can give you some lagging behind, because Mars does not creates problems in the 12th house matters. Whether sleeping pattern, whether taking a decision on all these things, or 11th house matters like gains and all. Once the 11th Lord is coming on the Lagna, and that is also in its exaltation, you can feel a boost of confidence in yourself. And Mars is aspecting your 4th house and your 7th house and your 8th house also. Now here you see that with Mars, Mercury will also be coming on the Lagna. So you can learn new skills, you can feel very active. Only one thing is that when Mars and Mercury comes on the Lagna, you can get a little bit irritated or feel at times, going into conflicts. So that conflicts need to be avoided at any cost, so that Mars can give in the full effect on the Lagna. You can feel energized. You can feel, because see, your 10th Lord will also come later on the Lagna. Venus will slowly come onto your Lagna from the 13th of February. It's a very good transit. It is a really good transit of Venus on the Lagna with the 11th Lord. It can really give you your good upliftment in profession and in monetary gains. Saturn is there in the 2nd house. Sun will be there on the Lagna in the initial 13 days of the month. Then it will move into the 2nd house, and Mercury will also move into the 2nd house. So finances also, though Sun is the 8th Lord, you have to deal with your finances. You can get a boost in finance also, but also there can be certain expenditures also that can also happen. So go with it. Try to build up your finances. It's a very good time. Rahu in the 3rd will make you put the efforts, consistent efforts. And your 4th house matters. If you have any matter related to your house, your land, your real estates, or you want to buy and sell things, these things can also be done in this period of time. So it is a really good time, I think, for the Capricorn people, because it's kind of a Raj Yoga, the 10th and the 11th Lord on the Lagna, or you can say the 4th and the 5th Lord. The 4th Lord and the 5th Lord on the Lagna is a really good time. Make the most of it. Yes, Saturn is there. Only thing is that Saturn, Sun, Mercury, all are, even Mars, aspecting the 8th house. So health, should check your health and keep a close tab about your health. Otherwise, it is a very good month, and many of you, if you had been searching for the right job, it will come to you. If you had been wanting some gains for a long time, it will happen. This month is a really good month to look forward to, and I hope that only thing, if you keep your health and your relationships good, because too much energy is there in the 8th house, and also Mars is aspecting the 7th house, all things should go well, and you'll be able to get some desired things that you had been wanting for long, because after all, 11th Lord is a desire Lord. So it is a good month to look forward to. Make the most use of it, and be a little cautious about the monetary things, because Sun and Saturn, when it goes into the second house, some monetary here and there, some, or in the family also, some, I will not say disputes, but uh, some dispute of opinion can happen. So, or your speech needs to be checked a little more, because when Mars is on the Lagna, usually it gives a lot of aggression to the ascendant. And in the speech part, in the second house, or your savings part, when Saturn, Sun, Mercury, three planets are there, that needs to be checked. These few things about yourself, if you just go with the flow, you will be able to make best use of it. Take a structured approach, because Mars gives a very good structured approach when it is in Capricorn. So if you have a Mars Mahadasha, Antardasha, or Venus Antardasha, Mars Mahadasha, something, it should be a really good time. It should be. So have a very productive February, Capricorn ascendants. Thank you. Next comes Aquarius. Aquarius people, Mars is coming into your 12th house and Lagna Lord is in the first house. Now 12th house Mars, there are also with Mars, Mercury is also coming, the 8th Lord. Third Lord, 10th Lord and 8th Lord conjunction, 8th and 5th Lord conjunction in the 12th house. See, 12th house is a little bit tricky house, in the sense it gives a lot of expenses also. It can give you courage, or you can strategize your things towards, if you ever wanted to move towards foreign lands and all, but your health also needs check over here, because some expenses regarding anything like any kind of expenses which you will go through now, maybe it is a must, but maybe you have to do it for a good purpose, but you must keep a check on it, because Rahu is also in the second house and Saturn is on the Lagna, and Sun will move in the Lagna in the later part of the month from 13th of February. Venus, it is now in your 11th, it will come into your 12th house. So Venus is a very Yoga-karak planet, and it is not bad in the 12th house, because then Venus originally gets exalted. Mars, Venus, you can see these kind of combinations can go into different directions, into some relationship which can incur later problems in your life, because Saturn is always on the Lagna. That needs to be understood, and Mars is now in the 12th, it will come on the Lagna. So whatever passion, whatever too much ignition you are having within you, or whatever expenses you are going towards, which you feel that needs to be done, which may be a little extravagant, think about it before going into it, because Saturn being on the Lagna and Jupiter's position is not very good in the third house. So scenario is like that. The scenario is like that. Now when Mars again, in March when Venus come on the Lagna, it is better. When Mars will have a conjunction with Saturn. So here what I'm trying to emphasize is that the time is not very conducive. It is a time of reflection. Maybe you have to, because see, the third house matters is also getting lot of boost, because Jupiter is there, Saturn is aspecting, Mars is aspecting own house. So what happens, you have to take certain decisions, you have to take certain journeys, maybe short distance, maybe for your work, whatever it is, it needs to be taken in a careful manner, because Mars, when it goes in the 12th house, it gives lot of energy into this, you may feel very, you want that energy to burst out. I don't know whether I'm able to make you understand or not. You can feel suffocated at times with Mars in the 12th house, though it is in its exaltation. Maybe those expenses that you're going towards with definitely can give better gains, or it is required as of now. All is understood, or you want to, maybe because you want to take maybe loans also, that can also happen. Think about it. If you are running a Mars Antardasha, especially if you're running a Venus Mars Antardasha, Pratyantardasha, something mix in that kind of an arrangement, or Mercury Mars, think about it and then go into things. Don't jump into it. It is because there is no aspect of better planets. Mercury will come on the lagna slowly, that will happen after 21st of February. So at that time you may be able to understand what's to be done. And 7th lord on the lagna, some disputes, ideological disputes with yourself, and your 7th house is your partner, Sun Saturn combination on the lagna may happen. So these combinations in the 12th, in the 1st, and Rahu in the 2nd, Jupiter in the 3rd is not pointing towards a very a month where you can sit down and just relax. It's not like that, I'll say. So understand the energies, go with the flow, understand what needs to be done, decision maybe needs to be taken. Even Leo house, 7th house is also getting a lot of energies. You may go into a relationship, you want to jump into a partnership. These things can happen, but take some time to understand what is the whole scenario going on. That is why this month's transit or any month's transit is important. It's a guidance. Transits are the last thing that we see, because Dasha Mahadasha whole horoscope is important, but still transits give you an idea how to deal with that month. So this month, go a little cautiously, a little slowly, and don't get too much involved emotionally into things. Take it a little practically, I'll say in that way. Last ascendant is Pisces. Pisces having Mars in the 11th house. So your Yogakarak 9th house lord is going into the 11th house, and with Mercury. So that is a good transit. Here it's a good transit with Jupiter in the 2nd. Money houses are getting the boost this month. Main thing is that. But that does not mean that expenditure will not be there, because constantly Saturn is there in the 12th. Mercury will go into the 12th. Sun will go into the 12th. Mercury will reach Mercury will be there in Capricorn from the 1st of February to the 20th. Then it will move into the 12th house. Sun will go into the 12th house from the 14th. So 12th house will have also a lot of planets, but 11th house is having Mars. 2nd house is having Jupiter. It's a good time. And your Leo house, that is your 6th house, is getting lot of Saturn is aspecting Jupiter, aspecting Mars, aspecting. Is a good time for your work scenario, also daily jobs. So it is a good month. It is giving you lot of things to do, because these are growth houses, 6th house, 11th house, but 12th house is also having lot of planets, especially in the later part of the month. So understand, and 8th house lord will also go into the 11th house. Venus will go into the 11th house by 13th of February. So you can gain from 8th house matters, tax, insurance, inheritance, all these things. That can be good. Your efforts, 3rd laws into the 11th, your efforts can be materialized into better things. So it is a good month, not denying that at all. But 12th house, Saturn, Sun and Mercury will be there. So keep a tab on that, as because Mercury, as you know, is your 4th lord and also your 7th lord. It is going to the 12th house. So health of your spouse should be kept a check. The happiness of your home should be kept a check. And Saturn constantly there in the 12th. So keep a check on these things. Otherwise, it's a good month for monetary issues, for growth, and for decisions, getting the fruit of your decisions. That way, it's a good month. No way it's bad. Go with the month. It should go good. Just run a little cautiously. That's it. So this is the analysis for the February month. Next month, in February, we'll start with another video in the first week of February. Till then, have a good time, friends. Goodbye.